Hi, my name is Hemchandra, and I shall be discussing the vocabulary section with you all. First and foremost, these are some of the important things that we shall be looking at in this session, and they are tricks to improve direct vocabulary. Uh, Next is how roots they are extremely useful in learning new words. And the next one is the importance of association method, which is very useful in learning difficult words in English. And lastly, last off, we have the word family tricks. So these are some of the things that we'll be discussing in this section. Before we dwell into the topic, the most pertinent question, the most important question that one may ask before we begin the session is could perhaps be that why vocabulary? Why should one be studying vocabulary? These are the answers that you can see on your screen. All major entrance examinations that we have today, they have direct vocabulary based questions. And mind you, they do not ask words that are used in our daily day-to-day conversations. The words that do come up in these examinations, they are highly complicated, highly complex words, and having a rich vocabulary certainly helps in that regard. And also a good vocabulary, it helps in the overall understanding of the RC section, RC, which is the reading comprehension section of the verbal ability part. And it certainly gives you the much needed edge when it comes to the GDPI stages as well. So keeping that in mind, vocabulary as a discipline needs to be taken with utmost seriousness, I believe. So, these are the different ways of understanding and knowing the words better. Or, for that matter, I would say improving one's vocabulary. So, they are the association technique, the root technique, prefixes, suffixes, and word families. So, of these five, I shall be, of course, we'll be talking about all five of them one by one, but my focus would over here in this slide would be root words, prefixes and suffixes. So of the three, prefix and suffix, we already know what they are. Prefix is something that comes before any word, which is added before any word, any given word. That is prefix, and suffix would be which comes at the end. So if in terms of an example, if I take the word happy, happy, if I add un before happy, it has the tendency of changing the entire meaning of the word happy. So that is the quality of the word of prefix. Similarly, if I add ly to the word happy, so happily. So again, it changes the entire structure of the word happy. Before that, the word happy is, in terms of the part of speech, happy is an adjective. The moment I add an ly, the adjective becomes an adverb. So this is how a prefix or a suffix they change the entire structure, the entire meaning of any given word. So that is the prefix and suffix. Okay, so coming to the root words, coming to the root technique. So before we further dwell on what root exactly is, about the technique per se, uh, when it comes to root, one needs to understand is that when it comes to the English language that we know of today, the English language that we speak of today, that we speak today, uh, most of its words, they are derived from either Latin or Greek words. That is its sense. Uh, of course, nowadays we have a lot of languages that are being English words deriving from many other language families. Like, for example, if you have many French words that are being added in the English words, many Indian words that are added in the English word, so on and so forth. So these are the phenomena. But over here, when it comes to root words, one majorly needs to focus on the Latin and Greek words that are the point of derivation of major English words that we know of today. So with that in mind, if one has a very good grasp over these so-called root words, which are basically the etymology, the origin of various English words today. So if one has a very good grasp over it, one can certainly expand uh, their vocabulary one way or the other. So with that in mind, we can just take an example of the word path over here, as you can see on the screen. So the meaning of the word path, as already given, is feeling and emotion. So it is a root word for sure, and it has origin of Latin and Greek. It has a Latin and Greek origin. So yes, one may also argue that path also means a route as in route, route, or a way. So that is basically the meaning of the word path. Well, that is true, but here we are discussing a different path altogether, which has Latin Greek origin, and it means feeling and emotion. So as I said in the previous slide, if one has a good grasp over these root words, then one can automatically arrive at any given word that has or that uses these root words. Like we have in terms of the examples, sympathy, empathy, antipathy, and apathy. So all these words, they have the word path in it, which means that they have something or the other to do with feelings and emotions. Of course, empathy and sympathy, we all know what they mean, and we're quite familiar with these two words. So I would not be talking about sympathy and empathy, but about antipathy and apathy. So the thing is that antipathy, for the unversed, for someone who is coming across this word for the first time, the idea is that anti, as we all know, is something that is in opposition of or against something. If I say anti national, so someone who is against the national interest in that regard. So anti is something that is against something, and path, which is feelings and emotions in that regard. So over here, when we say feelings and emotions, it has a positive connotation to it. So a good feeling, a good emotion in that way. The moment one adds anti to it, so it becomes against something that is bad. So if I say I have this sense of antipathy towards something, which means I hate that something. I dislike that something. So that is the meaning of the word antipathy. Antipathy is hatred. Antipathy is dislike of something. So that is the meaning of the word antipathy. So we just added our understanding of anti, which is against something, and path, which is feelings, which is a good thing in that way. So we just added these two words, and that's how we come to the conclusion that antipathy means feelings of hatred, feelings of dislike or distrust. And regarding apathy, apathy is the feeling of neutrality. So when one is indifferent, when one is totally neutral over any given matter. So this is the manner in which one can conclude, one can come to the conclusion about various meanings of words in the English vocabulary. So, moving along, we have first off the association method. So here, as you can see in the slide itself, we have pictorial association, we have and we have the event association, and we have situation association. So all of which would eventually lead to a logical association. As we move along with the slides, we shall be tackling each one of them, each one of these aspects separately. So. Um, Okay, so in terms of the pictorial association, so the word that we have over here is congregation. Before we proceed, I would request you to kindly observe the two pictures provided. Well, we can see a lot of people gathered in both the pictures, and that is perhaps the one major commonality when it comes to these pictures. Now, based on the common element that I just mentioned, what could possibly be the meaning of the word congregation? Well, the very meaning of the word congregation is a collection of people. So, before moving on to the next slide, I would like to further stress on the concept of root words, which is again, as I said, deriving, which is basically the origin words which are predominantly of Latin and Greek origin. So, in this regard, the root word to observe is the word con. The word con, C-O-N, con, it is a root word which means a collection or coming together. So collection could be of anything. In this slide, the collection is of people. Now, moving from this slide, based on our understanding of this root words, con, we can bring into discussion other words which also have the same root word, which is con. Like in this case, we have conglomeration, we have conclave, we have congress, we have conclusion, we have concoction. So, in talking about the first two words, conglomeration and conclave, both the words conglomeration and conclave, they are more or less similar in their meanings. And I'm sure we have come across such words like a conglomeration ceremony or a conclave of students, etc., etc. So, where a conglomeration means parts or items that are grouped or teamed together. Conclave means a meeting place. As we discussed, con means coming together or collection. And we can see that most of the words that have con in it have something or the other to do with the meaning of the root word con. Uh, so, coming to the next word, that is congress. So, congress is derived from the root word con, and but in this case, we have two root words. One, of course, is con, the other is gress. So, the meaning of the word gress is movement, any kind of movement whatsoever. So, if I say words like progress and regress, so progress in that regard is some pro is in favor of. So, progress is moving forward. Regress, on the other hand, is moving backwards. Backwards, that is progress and regress. So, gress is to do with movement. So, in totality, we can perhaps come to the conclusion that the overall meaning of the word Congress is the action of coming together, the very act of coming together. About conclusion, that is there in the on your screen. Conclusion. More often than not, we have been told about the importance of conclusion in any essay, in any article that one writes. So, of course, when it comes to an article or anything, uh, we divide an article into various paragraphs. So, each paragraph would most certainly have one argument or the other. So, a conclusion is something whereby all the arguments that are presented in the previous paragraphs, they all come together. They are all tied together in the very last paragraph, which is called the concluding paragraph. So, conclusion is basically that. Concoction would mean the mixing together of various ingredients to make something. So, that is a concoction. So that is how one can apply root words, the root techniques to expand or to understand various words, various unknown words for that matter. So this is how root words are. The root technique is very useful. Uh, in this slide, we can see two pictures. One is that of a Lamborghini, and the other is that of a Republic Day parade. These are two very contrasting pictures, to be honest, and but however, we can still find a common link between the two, actually. The common link over here is that, well, a Lamborghini is known for its fine design, which could perhaps be called perfection, for its beauty, for its elegance, for its sophistication involved in it. In the other picture, we have the parade, which is being carried out with so much discipline and so much perfection, without any scope of error whatsoever. So, uh, based on our understanding of the qualities exuded in both the pictures, we can say that the word finesse, it means something that is delicate and subtle, yet perfect, something that is perfection, something that shows skills, that shows the whole idea of really remarkable craftsmanship. So that is a word, that is the meaning of the word finesse. Moving along, the next word is ostentatious. In the picture, one can easily figure out that it is that of a wedding, and that's to perhaps the wedding of the century, the Ambani wedding family ceremony. Sorry, a family wedding ceremony, yes. So, applying our association skills, what could possibly be the meaning of the word ostentatious would be my question to you. Well, one thing for sure that we saw and we witnessed at the wedding is a lot of show and pomp, a lot of extravagance and glitz and glamour, precisely because the Ambanis are one of the richest families across the globe. Now, based on this understanding of show and pomp and extravagance and glamour and everything, the word ostentatious, it means something that is characterized by a showy display, something designed to impress. So that is the meaning of the word ostentatious. All right, as we briefly discussed in the previous, in the earlier slides, we shall be talking in length about root techniques and with various examples. So as you can see, the roots, they are component words and they stand for a specific meaning. Okay, moving along, as we can see, Geo. Well, Geo, not the Geo of the Ambanis, but Geo is a root word which means relating to earth, 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 right? And in this picture, and in the picture, we have words like geometry, geologist, geology, and geography, and these are all to do with earth, one way or the other. Points to be stressed over here is that of geography, where we have two root words, like in case of Congress. So the two root words are geo and graph, geo and graph, graph, graph. The second word, that is graph, it means to write, and geography, uh, and geography in totality means writing about the physical characteristics of the earth. About about graph, we have various words that are derived from it, like in like that of biography, autobiography, calligraphy, so on and so forth. So, in this very manner, if one looks at the whole concept of root words, just by merely understanding the root words, which is very simple actually, geo, we just if you know the meaning of the word geo, and if you happen to know, hypothetically, if you do not know the meaning of the word geography, so in that case, but if you do happen to know the root word geo and the root word graph, you can automatically combine these two words and come to a conclusion that what could perhaps the meaning of the word geography be. So in this way, root word as a technique to expand, to enrich one's vocabulary is very essential. So with this, we come to the end of the very first section, first part of the vocabulary section. We will continue in the next session. Thank you.